Say, I don't even know what I'm gonna say, but this is gonna be good. Listen, the last 2 months, I forgot who I was in this business. Coasted, I was comfortable, I knew the bills were gonna get paid. That ain't it. Period. That ain't it. Nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. Nobody cares how much you like made before, right? Nobody cared what numbers you ran before. Nobody cares. They don't. What they remember and what they see is what you're showing today. Scoreboard, scoreboard, scoreboard matters. That's it, right? Thank you, Roseanne. I love the new office too. And you know why I did it? One, because I have an amazing wife. And she goes, listen, the painters are coming on Friday while you're at ECBS and you're down there with brunch. They're going to start painting. And when you come back, you're going to fix your office. Thank you, Melissa. I have an amazing wife because she would not let me sit where I was surrounded by all of my plaques, not on the wall, on the floor, right? In an office in a new space that wasn't the space we had built. She fixed that, right? She's a fountain. She's my fountain. She's also the person that brings me back to reality and tells me to get my ish together. I'm gonna try not to swear, Andy, because I want this recording to not get taken down later, right? But she pops my bubble, right? Everyone else tells me how great I am. She goes, "Come here, knucklehead. You're pretty good, but you ain't that, right? Not yet." And I'm like, "You're right. You're right. Who's that person for you?" Right? I have two people in my life right now that are that person for me. One is my wife, the other one is Andy Onstead. That's it. That's all I need. That is all I need, right? I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock. Why? Because I knew Andy would be up by 6. I got out on the road and started walking, and I texted Andy this morning, said, if I'm gonna beat you, I gotta be up before you. He got up at like 5:45 and said, you MFer, I'm coming. Didn't even want to get out of bed this morning. But when he got up, he looked at his phone and he said, damn it, Noah's already up. I didn't plan that. I didn't know Andy was going to struggle getting out of bed today. But you know what I did? I texted him. I said, let's go, big dog. Let's go. Who's that person for you? And if you don't have one yet, good. You got to be it for yourself. Period. Listen, and some of you may not know, right? Some of you may have like wondered why did I call our team Atlas? Why? What was Atlas's job, right? What was he charged with? It was actually a punishment if you dig deep enough in like the Greek mythology about it, right? But what was his punishment? What did he have to do? Carry the weight of the world. Did he have some friends? Did anybody help him carry the weight of the world? Did anybody help him do it? No. He had to hold the heavens. Guess what? In your business, in the beginning, in life, you are the only one that can do it. Period. You're the only one. And you should be amazed and surprised and overjoyed when somebody comes into the business and wants to do it the exact same way that you do it with the same speed that you do it. You should be amazed and overwhelmed and grateful for that person. But until you find that person, because you can't make them, don't be fooled. You can't make them. You have to find that person. Until you find that person, it's up to you. No one else is coming. No one's coming to save you. It's up to you. Period. So guess what? I'm gonna hold it up. How did we even come up with that name? Because in the first couple of months of the business, Melissa goes, is anyone else gonna want to do this? Is anyone else like, is anyone else ever gonna run any numbers? And I said, I don't know. And I don't care. I'll do it myself. if I have to. I'll run the numbers myself if I have to. I didn't plan to do it forever. I don't plan to do it forever alone. But for a period of time, that's what it's going to look like. Nobody cares. I don't care what you're going through. I can empathize with you, but what I'm going to tell you is suck it up, buttercup. Move on, because nobody cares. There's no money in your feelings. Get out. Get out of there, right? You can wallow in it for a minute, but get out of there. Ain't nothing good in there. Nothing. Period. Move on. All right. And so, listen, my old football coach, when I was in high school, he said, Noah, when a good man is down, I'm gonna kick him because he's gonna get up. Period. Right? I ain't trying to kick you, but I'm gonna kick you in your butt and get you moving. I'm still gonna kick you a little bit. Guys, listen, 2 years ago, when we first came into the business and we made the decision to go on the $1 million run, we were putting up numbers that people had never seen ever in the business. There was a period of time where Andy and Brittany were number one in the company. I think it was for 11, 12, maybe 13 months straight. Andy fixed me. You probably know, but it was pretty close, right? Like 15, even better. Even better.
Not that I counted.
No, I counted. I counted. Why? Because when I'm talking to people, I said, listen, if you come into the business with us, you're coming into the number one team in the company for 13, 12, 14, 15 months straight. We've put up numbers no one's ever seen before. We still hold the record for recruits in a month and premium in a month. No one's beaten us ever in 48 years. Guys, you don't become a Hall of Fame team in under 6 years without doing something massive. Massive. Some of you are so new and you don't even understand the power of what you have right now and the power of the coaches that pour into you every day. Every day. You don't understand, and that's okay. I'm here to fix you, right? I'm here to fix you. I didn't even fully understand, and I had been in the business, so this was April when we went to California. April we went to California of April of 24, right?
23.
April 24? I don't know.
23.
23. Thank you. Whoever said that, thank you, Abbie. So April 23, right? We go to California. Who's there? Me, Abbie Schaufman, Jessica Powers, Coach Andy and Brittany. That was it. That was it. Guys, that was Redline at the time, right? Me and Jessica were RVPs. Abbie was still, I think, still the senior regional with Jessica, had not gone RVP yet, right? The right people were there. And guys, what I will tell you, and Andy, I'm getting the bumps. Woo! Listen, and yes, I've had too much caffeine this morning. Deal with it, right? Listen, when we were there, I got to see the power of what coaches Andy and Brittany were doing. I didn't know. I was a part of it and I didn't know. Yes, Lindsay, maybe you can't have too much caffeine. You got baby, come deal with it, right? Maybe get some like herbal gray tea. I don't know, right? We were there and we were at Coach Mario's office, right? Like in person. And before that, we were at the actual like builder school event and people were coming up to Andy like fangirl, right? Oh, you're Noah? And I'm like, yeah. God, I didn't even know I was a big deal yet. But people were coming up to Andy and it was just like asking to take pictures and like, oh my God, like lines, guys, lines. And I'm standing back going, this is just Andy. This is my neighbor. This is my buddy, right? I didn't know what a big deal he was because the numbers that we were running, they were just the numbers. And I just asked Andy, why doesn't everybody else do this? He goes, I don't know. We all got the same business. We all the same contract. I don't know. Primerica works. They're not working the business. That's the difference. Sin number one. God, Andy, I loved Jude's talk, man. Whew, lack of activity, sin number one. I don't need any other, I don't need the other nine. I don't need you only need one, which ties right back to John Lavin. What's the one thing? You got to fix it. Fix the one thing. I don't care if you say it's recruiting. I don't care if you say it's XYZ. It's activity, period, right? Back to the original talk. We were there and there were just lines and lines of people. And I'm like, what is going on? Fast forward to that night, we're at Mario Arizon, right? We're at coach's office and it's a closed session, right? There's only a few of us there, maybe 30 people, right? It was me, Andy, Brittany, Jessica, Abbie, and like a very, very select group of people from Mario's base and team that had earned the right to listen to Andy talk. And I'm just like, okay, there's something to this, right? And we're sitting there and Mario, right? Fastest, or excuse me, youngest $1 million earner ever in Primerica history. Dude's making 5 million a year off of all the different codes that he owns. And he's sitting there praising Andy for what they're doing. And I'm like, okay, starting to make sense. And guys, once you realize the power of what coach has given us in terms of compressing time, hear me on this. Hear me on this. How many codes does it take on average for someone to make $1 million a year? How many licenses? How many codes? Like, what's the company tell you? 3 people. Thank you. Guys, you do realize that I feed like speakers and the people that are coaching you, we feed off your energy, right? So if you come at me flat, I'm gonna stay flat. Not really, because I don't live that life. But like you got like most people, if you don't give them something, they're gonna stay flat. It's 1,000. Okay, so if it's 1,000, let's play with the calculator. What's the average licensing ratio for people that come into the business? Like on average, what percentage of people that come into your business will get a license? Do you know? Anybody? Anybody? 20% is like the baseline, Wendy. So 20% is your goal that you should be shooting for, right? And so if it takes 1,000 codes, well, here, let me show you how to back into math, right? If you need 1,000 codes and you know 20% of your people are going to get licensed, that means you need to have recruited roughly 5,000 people on average to get to about 1,000 codes. Let me show you what most people in Primerica are going to do. Most people in Primerica are going to recruit somewhere between 50 and 90 people a year. And I say 50 and 90 because they won't hit 100 because they don't have a power builder ring, which means you recruited 100 people in a year. I want a month, not a year. So let's just say, most people will have recruited 75 people a year. Do you want to take 66 years to hit $1 million a year? No, I can't make more time. I can't do it. But what can I do? And what Andy has taught me is that you can compress time, right? So look, if I don't want to recruit 75 people a year, I want to recruit 75 people a month. Okay, well, if I recruit 75 people a month, that means every year on average, I should be recruiting about 900 people. Oh, well, this sounds better. Now 500,000 divided by 900. Oh, 5.5 years.
Which is exactly how long it took us to get to the million.
You can't fight the numbers, guys.
That's crazy, Noah. I
I
mean, that's
know.
why. And literally, I was typing when you were saying that. Is I always thought that like, because
Yes.
Ian would always say, just give it more time, just give it more time. And I'm like, well, I don't want to wait 100 effing years like these other Primericans. Like I'm not gonna do that. Well, how do I divide the time? I need to multiply my efforts. I need to collapse time frames, compound my people, right? Quit giving a shit about all the people that tell me they're gonna do something and worry about the ones that actually show up to California. And
Mm.
that's why like when I'll never forget that. I remember I talk about it forever because I think that was the pinnacle moment in Brittany and our career is I remember being in that hot ass hallway on the lunch break.
It was so
It was
hot.
15 billion degrees in that place. right? And there's 5,000 people in there, and it was me, Brittany, you, Jessica, and Abby. And I remember getting you three, and you're still figuring it out. And I was like, hey, listen, the whole system is where people bring us people. So
Mhm.
when you start getting people that bring us people, and I remember us talking about it's your job to manage those people and never get cynical of people and cynical of the numbers. Just remember that's just the system. Your job is to sift through the crap. Your job is to find the needle in the haystack. That's it. Right? And it's like the more crap you've got going on, the more that's a good thing, Josie. The more crap you've got to sift through. Does that make sense, everybody? Anyways, no, that was just crazy. The numbers. I didn't want to take your spotlight, but
No,
that was just wild because that's literally how I thought in the beginning. I'm like, well, how do I not take? Because you gotta understand people know just like you and all the people in the run got swept up in the momentum of Brittany and my big thinking is other people in Primerica they get swept up in the lack of momentum of other people's tiny numbers and tiny thinking.
yep,
So for Brittany and I, it was very unique. I mean, people literally laughed at us when we would talk about doing, we were regional leaders, and I was talking about doing 40,000 in premium. And they literally laughed at us. Literally. And I remember I was talking about 100 I used to talk about 100 by 100 after that, but I remember like there was only one dude and he's like, "Hey, if they think they can do it, let them do it." Do you know, no, I don't know if I ever told you this. Do you know our RVP tried to hold us back from getting promoted?
why?
Because he wanted me in the base shop. He wanted that 30% override forever.
Yeah,
And you know, I had to Josie Grantham get him on a three-way call with Ian Bruckner. And I had to listen to Gwen and Wendy, my RVP, tell Ian Bruckner why we couldn't go RVP. And we only did 20,000 last month, and we would have to do 40,000 this month to do it. And there's no way he can do 40,000 in premium. I had to listen to him tell my $1 million earner that, and I'll never forget that. And I remember Ian said, dude, if he think he can do it, let him do it.
yeah,
And we didn't do $42,000 in premium in a month. We did $42,000 in premium in 16 days so we could go to Disney. But I'm telling you, like that's the culture, Noah, that Brittany and I grew up in. On Friday Night Live,
mm,
Ian had 43 RVPs. On 43, we went over the million with two RVPs.
yeah,
And when we go on a Friday night, if you were doing 10 recruits or 10,000 a month in premium, you were a big effing deal. And I would come in there and there was like the nicest people on the planet, Gwen, but they've been around the business for like 12, 13, 14 years. And they were making no money. Abbie, they didn't even have their daggone watch. And I'm like, as much as they're great people, Melissa Peterson, I'm like, Preston Cody, I am not going to be one of these people who am here a decade from now, not earning any money and having to live in a home that my father-in-law has free through the church. I mean, that's what we have. Like you can ask Brittany, we would pull up, we live in Michigan, right? There's snow. We would pull up in the parking lot, and some of these, and I'm not materialistic, but you just have to look around. Some of these RVPs would be pulling up in an RVP car. Their car would be 13 to 25 years old, and their tires were so bald. You all know the metal spikes that come out of the tires, like the metal wire in the inside the tires. Preston, the RVPs in the business would be pulling up. Their tires were so bald in Michigan, the metal was coming out of the tires.
hmm,
And I'm like, Abbie, I refuse to let that be Brittany and I. And Noah, when you showed that, like, I'm sorry, it just hit me like a ton of freaking bricks, bro, because I'm like, I literally, that's the thought I had to myself. It's not going to take forever. It won't, I refuse to do it. And Ian always said, if you set 2 to 3 appointments a day, I'm like, well, screw that. I'm going to set 5 to 10. Ian's like, get 20 recruits a month. I'm like, great. What happens when I get 100?
yeah,
Right? And through the multiples and the distribution, dude, like what happens is you collapse time frames. And I think too, Noah, so I said we got to get back on the road to recovery out of small thinking comfortability because Sin Six and Jude's talk was our thing. Brittany texted me from the green room, and I was taking notes, press, and I had to go back to my notes and realize Matthew Riviera that Sin Six Jude said was comfortability.
yep,
Y'all think it's hard now, Roseanne? You think it's hard now? Wait until you're making 50, 70, $80,000 a month. Wait until Noah, you got a $500,000 cash in the bank and you don't even know what to do with it, or you don't even care what happens to it. I told Suzanne Stacy, I told this when you and Justin were coming back from splitting embryos. The hardest part isn't making the 30 grand a month. The hardest part is realizing that you deserve more than 30 grand a month. Does that make sense, everybody? Like it's the wildest thing. And I'm just so proud of you guys, but I wanted Abbie and Noah to talk this morning because independently, and I always talk about more is caught than what's taught. Okay. And even Brittany said, like Heather, I started walking a couple days. Heather Alexander texted me, "What time do you get up? I gotta get up and get my crap back together too." Right? Noah, like, dude, like Noah works out, he's got a gym in his garage, but he's not much of a walker. But what is he doing? He's coachable, he's following in the footsteps. Y'all see what's happening here, right? And that's the wake of momentum, you guys, you have to build up. But I want to show you guys something really quick. Both Abbie and Noah, and I started talking about at East Coast Builder School. And if you guys got the packages I sent you, I would love for you guys to show those on camera really quick. Abbie, do you have that package I sent you? Is it near your? Hold on, wait a minute, wait for Noah to come back because Noah probably threw his in the garbage. Everybody, hold it up for everybody. See what
I
is
have
that?
it, I have it sitting across from me so that I can stare at it.
Yeah, it's on my desk. Um,
So, spoiler alert, some of you guys might have one of those coming in the mail as well. But what is that? Who could tell me what is that?
It's something I'm gonna turn the lights out on.
Come on, y'all. And that's, Danielle, Suzanne, I love y'all. Y'all got one coming too. I hate to ruin the surprise, but it's coming. And I want to challenge you, Suzanne, Stacy, even though I know you had shit going on, you couldn't be there in person. I'm not mad at you, but I'm glad you weren't there because we got our asses kicked, Suzanne.
Hand it to us.
And you need to come back. Y'all need to hang that damn Haitian flag up and come back and whoop some ass. So y'all be lucky if I don't have your address. Wendy, the only reason you didn't get one because I don't have your address. I couldn't ask you for it because then you know something's coming, okay? Now, so I want to show you guys this really quick. I got these text messages from both Abbie and Noah, and I want to show you guys this because I think this is super importante. That you guys realize this because what did I start talking about on stage? And it's not an ego stroke, Noah, but you need to realize your people are watching how you're reacting and what you're saying and what you're doing, right? I talked about it yesterday, Gwen Roberts. Your people follow who you are, not what you have. And I look at this. Schaffner on her own texts me. Look at that. Everybody give Abbie some love. Look how good she looks. Her stuff looks behind her, all set up over there. Okay, I don't know if that hammer was an award or you're just beating horses with that hammer. Okay,
I was
but
setting it up.
Abbie, I didn't ask you what you're doing. I didn't tell you to do this. Yes, you texted me this picture. And what did you type underneath it, Abbie?
Reminding myself who I am.
Okay, now you had no idea, correct, that on Sunday. Noah sent me almost the same exact picture. And what did Noah say, Abbie?
Had to remind myself who I am.
And I'm going to tell you guys,
Awesome.
you're getting the pimples right now. That's the synergy of what we have right now.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you guys that I want you guys to plug in that. And even when you're new enough in the business, you don't believe it yet or whatever, borrow somebody else's belief. Right? And then what we talked about the wake and getting sucked up in the momentum, like even in the pool, right? The kids are Reagan's our last swimmer learning to swim. And it's such a vortex because my muffin top in the pool, when I'm walking backwards really fast, Abbie, she just gets sucked up in it and she thinks she can swim.
Yeah.
Right? But then Josie, if I'm not there, if I turn my back for 2 seconds, she's jumping in a 6.5 foot deep end. I'm like, girl, you're 3, you sink like a rock, you cannot get in there. She sinks like a daggum pencil bobber. But Wendy, it was the belief she had from getting sucked up in my vortex. Yes or yes.
Mhm.
The thing is, Noah, it's up to us to do that. So, Abbie, I'd love for you to talk about like your feeling on that and what made you, and then Noah, you too, and I'm gonna mute myself, turn my camera off. But what made you, Abbie, and then Noah, what made you decide to do that, and what made you specifically decide to send me that picture? Because I just thought it was so ironic that both of you guys literally did the same thing, did not talk to each other, and I did not tell you to do it, but that's how you know. So, Abbie, what made you decide to do that?
Um, well, I mean, just like Noah said, there's always people in your life that are behind you and helping you. And for me, it's my parents. This room is my oldest sister's room. Um, And before I moved in, it was, I don't know if you guys have ever been to your parents' house trying to move back in after high school, right? There's a bunch of stuff from high school, from your childhood. And my parents are working 9 to 5. Especially my mom, she works Saturdays even. So they don't have time to just clear everything out. So, when I moved back in, it was, I was in the kitchen doing my meetings, and my mom was like, I really want to clean out that room. I really want to clean out that room for you. Make it your own space." And I'm not gonna cry because I'm so grateful for them. But when I was at Florida, she actually cleaned out the whole room, besides the bed. So that was really cool getting back home and having that. And that made me even more excited to kind of get all my stuff. Before I had moved back in, I actually was mailing everything to my parents' house, right? Because before I moved in, I was renting place to place. I really didn't know where I was going to live in the next 6 months. So I'm like, I'm just going to send everything to my parents' house, and when I have my own, place, when I have my own house, I'll put all the stuff in there, right? And that's been my goal for a really long time, is being able to buy my own place and put my stuff, in my own house. And I think it's so funny because sometimes um we don't know how the plan looks, right? Because I've been like, I'll just keep it in a storage unit. I'll just keep it all there. I'm gonna buy a house soon. I'm gonna buy it, and it's just really crazy how different it looks, right? So when I got home, I'm like, wow, I was just emotional, obviously, as you guys can tell. And that got me fired up to uh, put it all up. So I went to the storage unit yesterday, and I didn't even realize when I got there, there was like a whole section. I mean, I don't even know how many boxes. There was so much stuff. And I'm like, wow, like we did this, our team did this. And ooh, I didn't know I was gonna cry this morning. But yeah, I put it all up, and I'm just grateful for my parents. So, anyways, you guys can talk now.
Abby, like, don't even, girl. Whew. Like, look, I mean, look up there, right? There's more stuff you guys can't even see. Look, there's a whole other section of the friggin' wall, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I even ran out of nails. There's
Yeah.
more plaques. So,
Wait, say that again. There you go. I'll
I
wait.
ran out of
Say that
nails.
again. You ran out of nails. Come on, girl.
What?
but
What?
anyways,
Come on,
Well,
man.
I will tell you, Abby, just to make everybody stop crying. I do see a light switch back here, so I will be buying you a Haitian light switch cover for that double light switch behind you, so we can turn the lights out every day in that room. But one thing I want to tell you guys about is, again, and I always like, I was telling Abby and Noah, I always worry that I come off like an arrogant dick. And I promise you, I might be a dick, Danielle, but I'm not an arrogant dick, okay? All right. But I've just been on the roller coaster for a long time, right? And we've collapsed, Abby, 40 years of Primerica into four. I've seen it. And Abby, when you said that, while I was trying not to cry myself, I remember when you were exploding, and I remember I was like, Abby, you might want a house. I would not buy a house right now. Do you remember when I tell you why you should
yeah.
not buy a house? Tell everybody because it's so important that like you're like, why is he telling me I shouldn't buy a house right now? I'm making 20 grand a month. Why did I tell you you shouldn't be buying a house right now? Why?
You said I should be saving instead.
And what's going to happen to your income?
It's gonna fluctuate. It's gonna go down eventually.
And then what's going to happen after it goes back down?
It'll go back up.
It's going to explode. And I told Abby, you can want a house right now, but the worst thing you want to do is move into a house and have your mortgage be like, $3,000 a month when 3 years from now you can afford 30 grand a month,
Yeah.
right? The last thing you want to do is hurry up and do something that you're not ready for. And then 3 years from now, 3 months from now, 3 weeks from now, you're like, Dadgum, I should have thought bigger. I should have expected more, right? Abby, that's what I
Yeah.
told you. Not that what's going to go down, the fact that like, yeah, great, you're making money right now, but that's just the tip of the spear, right? And I think what we all do know is I can look at RVPs outside of you two that do the same thing where we come on, we make some money, we overextend ourselves, we spend all the money we made because it was good, and then all of a sudden we don't have any money left, or we're back to being comfortable.
Yep.
Right? And it's like, it doesn't matter if like, it's wild to me. I'll hear people talk about like, I don't have any money. I'll be like, look, you made 30 grand last month. What are you like, what are you doing? Even like Brittany said, literally Noah and Abby, our worst bonus we've gotten in the last year and a half was this month. And it was still more than what Brittany used to make in a year. Isn't that crazy to think about?
Yeah.
But Noah, talk about that too. Like, what made you decide? Because I know you already kind of hit it on a little bit, but like decide to like text me that because I know like, and don't get me wrong, I got a bubble popper at home too. Okay, buddy. Like, I get it. Like, he's the first one to tell me like how not amazing I am. Just kidding. But talk about that because I didn't ask you to text me. But why did you reach out and text me that, Noah?
I think at some point, and guys, you're all going to go through this, right? Like you're all going to get to some point in your business where you've hit a level of success. You feel like you've arrived. You feel like you don't need any more coaching. And I promise you right now, you're dead effing wrong. The greatest winners in every sport or every business have a coach.
Mm.
Every single one of them. Kobe, Michael had Tim Grover, right? And you can look like ad nauseum at anyone who is having success. They have a coach. And it is beyond freaking egotistical for any of us to think that we would be anywhere in life without someone that poured into us and got us to the next level. Well, guess what? I was that guy for a little bit, sin six, right? Comfortable. I know I got income coming in between the VA and my retirement. We got a ton of money saved up. I didn't care, right? I retired. I didn't have to keep doing things that I was doing for the Army, right? Like, don't have to be there, don't have to show up, don't got to shave, don't got to be in uniform, don't got to be a
Mm.
certain height, weight anymore.
Yeah.
Guess what? I got fat, dumb, and happy and lazy. Listen, laziness is the biggest like offense that you can ever commit to anyone that ever believed in you. Let me say that again. If someone has ever believed in you and has ever poured into you and you are not fulfilling your potential, you might as well walk up and slap them in the face
Mm.
because they believed in you to a level to get you either where you are or where you probably should be. And if you're not giving that energy back, you might as well tell them to F off. And so as I was thinking about it, Andy, like I'm sitting around for the last month and a half, my office is a mess. There's boxes everywhere. The background behind me looks sterile. Like I was looking at myself on camera, it looked like I was back in the friggin' VA hospital, right? Remember when I was running appointments with the like stupid white curtain behind me? And I'm like, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. And so what did I do? Well, I kind of just sat here in it for a little bit and I wallowed in it. And guess what our numbers
Hmm.
did? They effing wallowed in it.
Yep.
Speed of the leader.
Hmm.
I wasn't doing anything. How can I expect someone else to do it? Guys, you can't expect people to care more about your business than you are putting into your business.
Mm.
Period. Gary Vaynerchuk said it. Like, I'll never forget that.
I'm literally in the background changing the layout size of my thing so I can make a post on Instagram of this because I have it in presentation mode. But I mean, don't expect others to work harder for you than you're willing to work for yourself,
So good.
right? And the wildest thing is too, Stacy quoted you there. She said, hold on, let me get to it. Laziness is the biggest offense that you can give anyone who ever believed in you. And I think about Danielle texting the RVP text thread that said, "Other people's lives are contingent on me fulfilling my God-given dream."
Mm.
Because I think Abby, you would agree, we're our own worst critic, and we all hear this stuff. Wendy and Gwen and Stacy and Josie and Alicia, like we all hear this stuff. But we have to remember this stuff and remind ourselves every day. And Abby, like talk about that. And like I'm not trying to get you to cry again. If you cry, great. But it's so important that like we have to go through those feelings and those emotions of like, you're beating yourself up, you're highly competitive, you're like, I'm moving, I'm sure I don't know this. We didn't talk about this, but I would just assume, okay, I'm probably making an ass out of you and me, but I would just assume you had some kind of like my numbers are down, my income's down, I'm moving back in with my parents. What the F am I actually doing here?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's been times where I'm like, should I get a job? Do I need to do this part-time? And I've really just been praying like, God, show me, is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this your path that you have? And when we went to
Hey,
the
listen,
East
y'all,
Coast,
this is also the circle of trust, yes or yes. We're all
yeah,
having to come to Jesus this
is
morning.
this recorded?
Oh yeah.
I think the biggest thing is that I'd like to commend Abby and Noah for having the courage to actually speak what everyone else is thinking. Would you all agree with me on that? But talk about that because that I
Yeah,
mean we've gone through that. It just you gotta figure it out. But talk about that real quick.
right. Um, anyway, so I just been praying about it, and when I went to East Coast Builder School, I mean, I don't even know what it was, but just, I think it was everyone that was there. I mean, you had to have felt it. If you were there, you had to have felt it. And it was just like, man, this is exactly where I need to be. And what the heck have I been doing? And just, you can look back at the last few months and be like hard on yourself and down on yourself. And, me and Danielle, we went to the beach on Sunday, and she said something that really, kind of opened my eyes. She's like, we might not have our numbers, we not might not be doing good right now or whatever. She's like, If it weren't for this, I wouldn't be on the beach right now. I wouldn't be in Florida. I would have never had vacation."
Well, look at that, Danielle, my
And
little blossom finally. I was
yeah,
worried she
and
was over there talking shit all the time.
anyways, it was just really eye-opening because we could be so hard on ourselves. And looking back, like, just from January, in January, I'm like, 2025 is going to be my year. I'm turning 25 this year. It's always that feeling of you're running out of time, especially because there's always that goal, for me to be the youngest $1 million earner. And I'm like, I'm getting older. There's a 21-year-old that's catching up, like just all these things. And then you look back and I'm like, I mean, in February, we went to Universal. We saw New Orleans. We did a huge road trip in March. I got to talk to the CEO. In April, I was able to spend, tons of time with my sister. And now, this month, uh, you know, I'm in with my parents again, and sometimes you don't really notice when you're in it, like how much of a blessing that is. But if I had a real job, I would have never been able to spend time with my parents, my sister,
Mm.
go anywhere, right? Really go anywhere. So, um, yeah, just looking back, it's crazy to see. So when I pulled out, everything from the storage unit, I was like, man, you know, I I used to really do this thing, right? Like I really used to do this thing, right?
Same, same, Abby. Yes, same.
And it's funny because
I used to really do this thing.
yeah, but I had a leaders meeting on Wednesday, and there was 12 people on. Um We have 16 recruits this month, and I was, just talking to them. I'm like, look, I don't really know how it's gonna happen, but we're all gonna be on stage in September.
Mm.
I said, I really don't know how it's gonna happen right now. I said, we've recruited, I said, I know this team has recruited 227 people. Like, I know we can do it.
A month.
So we just kind of had a little get together, and I think it's important to definitely share, what you're thinking with your team, because the ones that are gonna step up for you, they're gonna step up for you and themselves in that moment. So I'm just excited for September, and I really feel fired up like never before.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah, and I want to take a second to I'm not gonna cry, but Danielle, I'm so proud of Danielle, because Danielle, you guys don't know, is the biggest, um, hardest person on herself, as we all are. And you can get into the wrong mindset to do that. But Danielle, I want you to know, and I want everyone to know, look at the impact Danielle had on someone that isn't even on her downline, that she does not override because of her positivity, right, Danielle? Look at that. You can cry. It's okay, girl. Right? But Danielle, that's that. And I text you. You probably didn't get it yet because I can't spell, but that's the Danielle Chapel I would follow. Does that make sense, everybody?
Mhm.
Sometimes we need to be the person we would follow, even if there's no one following,
Right.
because the impact you have on people that aren't. Danielle's gonna make me cry. Like, I shouldn't be looking at Danielle. The impact you're gonna have on people that aren't on your team is unreal. It's about pushing other people up around you. And this team is one of the best teams in the history of the company. And I'm not just saying that. Literally, go look at the scoreboards, right? And I think we all kind of got it almost happened too fast
Yeah.
where we got used to it. And I want you to talk about that, Abbie, really quick, and we'll come back to Noah, is talk about that specific feeling you had when you went to the stores and you're like, look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
Talk
Absolutely.
about like what you're thinking about that, because that's really the reminding ourselves who we are. Jessica, I used to tell Jessica the same thing. Jessica would be the hardest person in the world on herself, and then we would go to Las Vegas for a Millionaires in Training, and she'd be like number three in everything. And I'm like, girl, like you might be the hardest person in the world on yourself, but you beat everyone else except two people. God bless. Right. So talk
Yeah.
about that feeling you had about like, holy crap, we kind of used to do this thing.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, in the moment, from the start, I mean,
Put it in your
really my first year
have a
is
little.
probably the hardest I ever worked at this. And when we went to those events, it was just like we took it for granted, oh, some more plaques, oh, some more, things, this is cool, I'll send it home, whatever, right? And when we were up there, it's a great feeling, but it's a it's almost a better feeling when you're not up there, right? Because you're like, what the heck? Like, that used to be easy, right? I used to be number one easy. And you think about that and you really like, man, I really took it for granted. So whenever I saw all that stuff, just like you said, Andy, even when we were down on ourselves, like if you guys can see the three little stars in October at MIT, I was number one in three categories out of five. And that was just like at the time, man, I was so mad at myself. I'm like, why am I not in the top three earners? Like I should be at 500,000 right now, like just mad at myself. But looking back now, it's like, man, um, I really took that for granted, right? There was how many other VPs in the room that didn't even get recognized, right? And I don't know, when I just, saw all that stuff, I just realized how much I took all that stuff for granted and how easy it can be to take stuff for granted when you're in the middle of it. And seeing that now, it's like, man, I want my team to be up there. I want this for other people because it can really change everything for you. Really, it can.
Girl, I'm gonna get in and rescue you before you start crying on me
I
and
know. I've been
make me
so
cry.
emotional. I don't know why.
No, it's good. It's because this is real. That's
Mm.
why you're emotional. It's because it's real. Jessica, you said it good, right? This is real. Like you couldn't have done all those things that you just talked about if you had a job, not if you
Right.
had a real job. This is real. This is 1,000% real. I'll show you my bank account, right? It's real.
Yeah.
And that's where people sort of miss it. And I love what you and Danielle said about being on the beach, right? Without this, I wouldn't have been here. Guys,
Yeah.
listen, gratitude and fear can't exist in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
If you wake up grateful, if you wake up grateful, and I don't care what you're grateful for that day, if you wake up grateful, you can't be anxious. You can't have fear and anxiety about what's going on because you're so focused on being like pouring that gratitude back out. Listen, you have to focus on that. And the wild thing, right? Listen, if you're here right now and you're like, oh God, I don't know, like I should probably go get a job. We've all thought that. We've all been
Yeah,
there. It's
a
okay.
month ago.
A month ago, right?
Yeah.
Listen, guys, when I retired, I could have gone and done anything. I have 20 plus years inside the special ops community. I have an MBA, I have a bachelor's degree, I have an extra master's degree that I got for funsies one year. I could have went and gone and done anything. Here's why I didn't. I spent 20 years away from my wife and kids. I spent 20 years asking another man if I was allowed to go do something.
Yeah.
I will never again in my life ask permission to go do something that I plan on doing. Do you hear me? Do you hear me right now? I will never ever in my life ask another man if I'm allowed to go do something. And the one person that I have to thank for all of that is wearing another pretty sick blue shirt right now on screen with me. Yeah, you, knucklehead. The dude that I send like middle finger emojis to at 5:15 in the morning because I love you and I want you to get off your butt and go be a great again. Because I love you, right? Like my success depends on your success because when you're slow, I'm slow. When I'm slow, everybody's slow, right? Danielle, I love what you said, right? Like you have this calling to go be great and fill your potential because people are counting on you. God didn't give you this opportunity if you weren't meant to fulfill the potential for what he put in front of you. Wouldn't happen, right? And Andy, like we're both gonna cry right now. I can see it's okay.
And it's not too, I want to just, I'm so proud of Danielle because y'all have such greatness inside you. And the Joel Osteen I listened to this morning, he talked about precious cargo, and he talked about even if you had you have to be on the right direction because even if your rudders are off a little bit or whatever, you could have a ship and it could be filled with the most expensive cargo in the entire world. Would you all agree with me on that? And even though that gift is inside there, if that rudder's off, if the captain's off, the direction's off, it's not going to get to where it needs to go, right? And it's like I'm so proud of Danielle and Abbie because I worry about them hanging out because Danielle can be kind of sassy sometimes. But that's Danielle, like, even I want to tell you guys, that's why you need to be the person you need to be at all times because it's not always going to be our kids or our downline that
Mm.
we make impact on. You're always making an impact on somebody around you at all times. The question is, what impact are you making? Are you filling their sails of wind or are you taking it from them?
Fountains and drains.
Come on, man. Right? And that's, dude, I just text Brittany, Abby, you would agree. The vibe is high right now on the team. The vibe
Yeah.
is high. I mean, we're not talking about freaking posting on Facebook this week. We're not talking about recruiting people. The vibe is high. And I think it's like, it's wild. I said it from stage at East Coast Builder School. Sometimes we're all already doing everything we need to be doing. We just need to check up from the neck up.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's why, Abby and Noah and all you guys, I started talking about we need to remind ourselves who we are. We need to remember who we are, and then we'll go remind everybody else and go redline this shit. So literally, Noah, what would you have? What kind of, advice you would have that one thing that you're going to be getting back to doing that is going to be. I love that Brittany said it yesterday too. Even though we're not where we want to be right now, Noah can have like one more week of telling me his bake shop speeding mind, and it'll never happen again. Okay, but even though that's okay, we all know. Okay, Abby. Even though we all know, like, great, but 90 days, there's a flood coming. There, would y'all agree with me on that? Like Abby, and I want you to remember that as you're going out and buying more effing nails, and I'm gonna send you a Haitian flag and some more nails so you can hang up your Haitian flag, right? There's a storm coming, Danielle, and the right people are there. I'm so proud of Danielle Chappels. Her people, Chris and Sarah Weaver earned the top golf spot by doing the daggum work. Natasha Sullins earned top golf and the Mansion East Coast Builder School, and I grabbed her at the Top Golf, Abby. Okay, I'm not going to say you weren't there, but we grabbed her at Top Golf, and I said, "Listen, do you see how you found one people that were engaged, and you helped that one person? You forgot about everybody else that didn't want it, and that one person, you help them win and you earn all the things. And I grabbed Natasha Solins, Danielle, and the Weavers, and did a little huddle, right? We made Nick count it down. Y'all need each other. Your team is not going to it's not going to look like what you think it's going to look like. I promise you that, y'all. But the thing is, if you go out and find that one person, that one thing, and that they're willing, they're hungry, they're ready, you lock arms with them, and you effing run. You run. And Noah, Abbie, all you guys, Suzanne, Stacy, Jessica Powers, I believe there's an effing storm coming. What is one thing that you guys would say that you're going to be focusing on doing over the next 90 days consistently to make sure that you guys not only come back to the East Coast Builder School, but you're helping other people not only come with you, but also get recognition on stage as well? Noah, what's one thing that you're going to be focusing on?
Just the belief again, right? Andy and I for so long, I never even I never truly believed that we were going to run big numbers, right? I figured we would be average, 30 by 30, 40 by 40, like big enough, right? But it never really, like, the belief of beating the red line base, right? Like the belief of seeing our numbers above yours. Not that I want your numbers low. I just want to be number one. You can be number two.
I override you, buddy. That's okay.
Right? I
encourage
know.
you.
But literally, like, even though we've had a lot of success, like I had this like limiting, like I had this like governor in my brain, right? There was,
Yeah.
like, limiting belief. And F that. It's gone. Gone. Period. Gone. Right? You guys, you can't come to an event like we just had at this builder school and see a kid who's 19 years old on stage absolutely crushing it. That was probably one of the most polished young men I think I've ever met in my
So good.
entire life.
Yeah, he was so good.
That dude was dope, right? And I'm like, like, this kid's out here crushing it. And Abbie,
You talking about the MVP?
yeah, Nick Casillas, whatever the heck his name was, right? Something like that.
Casas.
There you go. Sure, whatever.
I had to know because I had to learn how to pronounce it, Abbie, because I had to hand someone else outside of Redline the MVP trophy.
Yeah, that's gross, right? Never again.
Sorry,
Right?
go ahead.
But guess what? I would have never known that kid's name. If he wasn't number one, I wouldn't know his name. If you want that, go get it. Go get it. Proclaim it. Make it happen. That's the difference. And here's the biggest thing. You have to set the expectation and the belief so big, and I'm guilty. I kept it small. It's got to be so big it scares you. First of all, I was never allowing myself to get scared by it. I was comfortable in what we were doing because I was consistently making 10 to 25 to 30, 40,000 a month. Part-time. I was comfortable, right? And I slacked off. And so when I slacked off, what did my people do? They're only going to do half of what you ever do well, and they're going to do double the bad things that you do. So if I'm not producing, guess what? They're not producing, period. So look, get that big belief, go pour it out there. And it has to be so big that everyone can fit inside. And if you don't believe it's possible yet, great. Point to Andy's numbers. Point to Abbie's numbers. Point to Suzanne Stacy's numbers, right? Suzanne Stacy, you need to remember who the F you are. 200 by 200 in the base below RVP, I think, is still the record. I don't know, right? But we could probably figure it out.
1,000,000% yes.
That girl, like, number one in the country in 48 years ever, below RVP.
Well, technically, no, in North America, because we have our Canadian friends in Guam.
On the continent.
On the continent. I don't know what that means, but this is sign language. Everybody, come on, everybody with your cameras on. Silent. See y'all. I see you not doing it, Melissa Peterson. I can see you. Their continent.
Is that continent or is that wax on, wax off?
It doesn't
I
matter
don't
what
care.
it is.
You know, you get it. It
It's
means
provocative. It gets the people going, Jessica.
Provocative, right?
The continents, right? So getting back to that, right? And I think that's too, like, no, I didn't really have anything to say when I asked a question, right? You can turn into me if 45 minutes later you still didn't answer the question. But that's okay. It's getting back to who we are.
Yeah.
Right? You too, Abbie. Daggum, girl. I love that you talked about that too, because you got those 3 stars. Do you realize they take all the newly promoted RVP, hundreds of thousands of people sign their IBA every year in Primerica? We only have about 6 to 7,000 regional vice presidents in Primerica. And of those, Abbie Schaffner was number one in 3 of the 5 categories. And Abbie, you were so concerned about the one you didn't miss. You missed that you kicked everybody, you kicked about 500,000 people's butt,
Yeah.
right? But Abbie, what's one thing you're going to get back to outside? I don't know if that's a single or a twin over there you got over there, but we're going to need to get back. But just generally, what's one thing you're going to get back to about like just doing it? And would you all agree while Abbie's talking, yes, yes, the vibe is high. Yes, yes, the vibe is high. I know you can feel it, Lisa.
Yeah.
I can feel it too, okay? What would you say, what's one thing that you specifically are going to get back to come back and help me and Brittany make sure that that is the last time that we ever not have a red line person earn an MVP. There's 2 MVPs, one RVP and above, one below RVP. That is the first time we've ever gone to a builder school and it hasn't been one red line at least one of those spots. Okay. Abbie, what's one thing you're going to get back to make sure that you are just getting back after it?
Well, I mean, just like Noah talked about, having that belief, having that vision, having big goals. But I think one thing that I definitely was lacking was the communication with that, right? The engagement with your leaders,
Yes.
with, people in your base shop that maybe they're at 60, 70, 80%, right? The ones that are training the new people, right? Just having that engagement with them and having that connection with them, I think I was definitely, the last few months really lacking in that part. Just like, oh, well, they're at 80%, they know what to do, right? They're good. And, to a point, yeah, they are good. I probably don't need to tell them how to post on Facebook anymore. Sometimes I do, but just having that engagement about goals, right? Because, you talk to them after not talking to them for 2 months and they're like, yeah, I want to get 5 recruits this month. And you're like, what? You know what I mean? I mean, not like saying that happened, but it's just having that communication and making sure that we're all on the same page with our goals. And that's what's going to spread, throughout the team, throughout the new people, throughout the people that are hungry. Because when you are recruiting a crap ton of people and 200 and something, recruits, it trickles down, as a leader, you can't talk to 227 recruits, right? You can't. It's impossible. I mean, you can try, but that's really the biggest thing is just having that communication with the leaders and making sure we're all on page with the same goals and it all aligns. So
Well, that's good. Well, listen, I'm super proud of you guys. Put in the Zoom chat, how much value did you see on the meeting this morning? I'm super fired up. But listen, we got Sunday Night Skills. We're back in action. Yes, yes. Okay, we're back in action on Sunday Night Skills. Okay, that's going to be happening this Sunday. Okay, meeting attendance is everything. Yes, yes, everybody. Okay. We're back to with a routine. Monday, I'm going to be canceling Danielle RVP meetings and Wolfpack because it's Memorial Day. Okay. I couldn't bring myself, Noah and Abbie, though, to cancel Sunday Night Skills, even though we might have a lower attendance because Jennifer S. I would figure that we need to get back to routine. Would y'all agree with me on that? Yes, yes. Okay. Now, we're going to edit some videos and stuff like that, take the F word out of the songs. Noah, don't worry. Rick's got that. But the one thing I would tell you is Jessica saw this already. So the vibe is high, not only with us, but with our sidelines. Right. And remember, just like Danielle taught us all this morning, our words and our energy impacts everyone around us. It's in a good way or a bad way. Yes, yes. Whether you override people or not. And I want you guys to start treating everyone on the team as if they are your direct downline. Is that fair, everybody? Not helping them run appointments, but I'm talking about positivity. Yes. Okay. So ironically, the original RVPs underneath Ian's code for my Brittany and I $1 Million Earner have reached out to us a month or so ago and asked. We used to do we used to have Friday Night Live where we'd be live in person. So this next Friday, a week from today, we're having a Friday Night Live. We're getting the band back together. We talked about doing it for a long time. So you got Senior National Sales Director John and Brittany Cooper, Brittany and myself, National Sales Director Emmanuel Summer Earls from Oklahoma, National Sales Director Josh and Sarah Christian, and Senior Vice President Nate Mel Braley, and a whole bunch more, y'all. Okay, these are the original Wendy, the original pack of people that did it all. And we want to kind of everyone knowing Abbie is in the same spot right now in their business where we're all reminding ourselves who we are and where we came from. So I'll get the information on that coming out, but make sure you guys guard your calendars off for that. Yes or yes. Make sure you plug your people on. I expect to try to have over 1,000 people on this meeting. Okay, so make sure you're on for that. And if it takes off, maybe with something we'll look at continue doing in the future. But I just want to tell you guys, I'm so freaking proud of you guys. And Abbie, it's just like you said. It's the same thing with the entire hierarchy right now, right? It's not always about posting on social media where your numbers at. Sometimes we all just need to have a kumbaya together and realize we are exactly where we're supposed to be. We might not want to be there. Would you all agree with me on that? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But we sure as hell are not going to stay there. Would you all agree with me on that? Right, Wendy? So let's all freaking lock arms, Jessica Powers, together and get the effing train moving. Let's take the last of this month, get whatever we can. Y'all know what to do. Start leading it up. Let's take the Friday Night Live, and let's explode into June, July, and August and go on a 90-day run together and come back in September and turn the freaking lights out on the Haitians.
Madman cycle time.
Come on, I gotta go. Bye, y'all.
Bye.